we have Dr. Swetha Mangalath, and she will be presenting Reinvented and Reframed Aesthetics, Exploring Choreographic Innovations in Mohiniyattam. Swetha Mangalath is a Mohiniyattam performer, a researcher, academic, and art journalist, holding a postgraduate degree in mass communication and classical dance, and a PhD in fine arts. Her areas of specialization include performance studies, media studies, dance aesthetics, and cultural history. Swetha has published research papers in academic journals and frequently contributes articles and columns to various print and digital media platforms, and has previously served as faculty member of journalism and mass communication at St. Aloysius College in Mangalore, India. Thank you, Swetha, for being part of this year's conference. I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much. And a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants, since you all are in different time zones. And it's my pleasure to be part of the team Dance Decolonization and to present my thoughts and my findings in my research, and moreover to present the developmental stages of my art form, Mohiniyattam. So I take this opportunity to introduce the developmental stages, and I would like to mention one point here before I start with my presentation. How do I connect the development of a classical dance form of India with this decolonization? It's nothing the developmental stages of this art form. For example, the development or the reframing of the aesthetics, that was the decolonization. And I can't separate it from the developmental stages of the art form and the decolonization, but I will be just giving a brief of the stages of the process of decolonization happened in the development of this art form. And again, it's a very short time to present 70 to 100 years of history of a dance form in reframing the aesthetics from the colonial period to the stage what we watch today. So I'll share my screen. The Reinvented and Reframed Aesthetics, Exploring the Choreographic Innovations in Mohiniyattam. So, this cultural reformations in post-colonial India, the latest ages of colonial India started in different corners. And it was a kind of renaissance, first manifested in literature and arts. During the late colonial and post-colonial period, there were two parallel streams of thought prevalent in India. One viewed everything which is Western as modern and great, and what should be followed to be civilized, while the other emphasized a strong affinity and love towards regionalism and national identity. So we start from this concept of nationalism and regionalism in framing, reinventing, reviving, and reframing a dance form. So several movements sprang up in different parts of India to promote local and regional cultures. The promotion and propagation of arts became a major agenda of these national and regional movements. The focus was on providing institutionalized training for arts, integrated with broader areas of cultural and linguistic studies. So here are a few notable examples of such institutions are Shanti Niketan in Kolkata, Music Academy, and Kalakshetra in Chennai. So through these efforts, artistic practices, especially the performing arts, attained a different status in the society. Promoters of the arts were concerned not only with propagating the art forms, but also with removing the negative perceptions that colonial rulers had imposed on them. They aimed to give a defined aesthetics to these art forms in order to stand as a strong agent of nationalism and regionalism in India. Here, I will be discussing the case of a dance form which is purely feminine. I would like to mention three issues here. Issues in Actually, today it is not an issue, but it was an issue then. One is it is a feminine art form performed by female artists, but today it is different. The case is different. There are many male performers actively performing and teaching the dance form, but earlier it was a feminine art form and performed only by female performers, and it was a part of the social practice. Historically, there was no connection with the ritual practices or with the worshipping culture, unlike other classical dance forms of India. For example, Bharatanatyam or Odissi, they had a strong connection with the worshipping culture, and it was a part of temple and offering to the deity. But this particular art form was a part of a social practice. And another issue is the patrons. The patrons were the upper class, wealthy upper class elites, or the wealthy people belong to the upper class Hindu community. So here I will discuss the case of this dance form that is purely feminine and with the patrons. What happened over time, particularly in the post-colonial era, this dance form was actually elevated to the status of classical from the social practice to the classical and underwent transformations in shaping its aesthetics. It started with the reinvention, revival, and reframing of the art form. Though the term revival falls short of fully capturing the complexity of a deliberate and multifaceted process, which demands exploration from various perspectives. While the revival of South Indian dance indeed established bringing it back to life, it encompasses much more. It involves repopulating, reconstructing, and renaming, and resituating, and restoring the art form, according to a great cultural study experts, scholars like Richard Schechner and Matthew Allen. I would like to quote them here. And this process goes beyond a mere revival, as quoted by researcher Ellen Matthew. It breathes new life into the art form while simultaneously giving it a fresh identity, context, and purpose. To understand its true essence, we must acknowledge the diverse facets involved in this transformative journey, which showcases the dynamic nature and adaptability of South Indian dance. So to introduce the unique nature of the dance form, Mohiniyattam, I would like to take your attention to the aspects of this dance form. It is one of the 8 classical dances of India, and it holds the distinction of being the purely feminine dance form. And the dance technique as described in the ancient text Natya Shastra, which we consider as the authentic text for Indian dramaturgy. The technique called lasya, this particular art form follows the technique called lasya, which signifies the subtleness or the softness. The name itself is feminine here, Mohiniyattam. The literal meaning is Mohini means the enchantress, and Attam means the dance. So this signifies the dance of enchantress. The origin of Mohiniyattam have been a subject of debate among scholars. Some argue that it has the roots to the worshipping culture, the Devdasi tradition. On the other hand, another group of scholars present more compelling evidences that Mohiniyattam was a secular social art form, not traditionally performed in temples, but rather patronized and practiced by the upper class elites in southwest region of India. So here we will, I would like to screen a small piece of performance. This is from the old repertoire of Mohiniyattam. Then later I'll be showing a new version of Mohiniyattam so that it will be easy for you to compare how the aesthetics changed from early period to today. Please let me know if the video is not visible.
Bharati now performs the invocation, the traditional dance at the very beginning of a formal performance. It is still in the realm of pure dance and incorporates some of the major basic steps you saw earlier.
Yes, so this particular piece is taken from the old repertoire. This particular piece is still performing by the performers. And during the 1930s and 40s, when this art form was revived or reinvented in the institution called Kerala Kalamandalam, only two performance pieces will remain. So this is one among those pieces. It usually performs as an invocatory piece and the first piece in the performance structure on in the repertoire. So I go back to my presentation. Yes, so the first effort of revival starts with the institutionalization of the art form. As I mentioned earlier, several institutions started by national leaders like Rabindranath Tagore and Rukmini Devi Arundale in Kerala, in the southern state of India. A great poet and national leader, Vallathol Narayana Menon, he was the person who considered Mohiniyattam and started the institution for the promotion of Kerala art forms, Kerala Kalamandalam in 1930s. So that was the first effort for reviving the dance form, to make it a part of an institution, give training and showing the aesthetics rather than showing the social practice or the social relevance, showing the aesthetics and the real beauty of the art form. The later reformation carried out through these institutions aims to present the spirituality inherent in the form, veiling its sexuality. However, it still retained a certain level of sensuality which appealed to the audience. Notably, it was the patriarchal male promoters who wanted this art form to be performed in such a manner. In order to elevate Mohiniyattam to the level of a classical dance form, several transformations were necessary under the institution. The choreography played a crucial role in representing the art form in a desired manner. So connecting the concepts with spirituality and devotion to the gods became one of the main strategies in choreography. The dance and training process were also aligned with Sanskrit text and literature. I hope you understand Sanskrit was a language which is a celebrated language and believed as the ancient language in India. And so a practice common in other art forms, the Sanskritization mentioned by scholar researcher Dr. Kurlawala. I would like to quote her. In dance, Sanskritization has become a legitimizing process by which dance forms designated as ritual, folk, or simply insignificant attain social and political artistic status, which brings the redesignation classical. Whereas in 1958, it was agreed that there were 4 classical dance forms in India. The number has more than doubled as classical dance forms, continuously being recovered from oblivion in different parts of India. In the 1970s, almost every dance form claiming antiquity and sophistication noted references within the Natya Shastra text and regional languages and demonstrated how postures, movement units, and narrative techniques were organized according to this text, unquote. Mohiniyattam also underwent similar steps in elevating the status of the dance form to classical. However, regional thoughts began to play a significant role in defining the uniqueness of the art form, emphasizing its association and belongingness to the state of Kerala. Unlike other dance forms, Bharatanatyam or even Kathak or Odissi, Mohiniyattam in Kerala adopted the text Hasta Lakshana Deepika, which was also used by other performing art forms of the region. And the characteristics of Lasya, the next question comes in, the characteristics of Lasya, the performing techniques, and how do the dance community or the dancers implement the technique of Lasya. So the next effort of reviving or reinventing the aesthetics was bringing the elements of Lasya. In order to bring the elements of Lasya, what happened is the performance text or the performance style became again more slow in pace or very subtle and very sweet in nature. So that was one transformation, a major transformation that happened. So I would like to show another video. This particular video is taken from a movie, sorry. So here I'll be showing two pieces of videos. The first one from the 1970s, how this performance piece was performed, and later in the 21st century, so that you can compare this.
Dr. Mangalath, if there's sound on this first video, we're not able to hear it well.
Sorry?
If there is sound with this first video, we're not able to hear it well.
Are you not? Yes, I'm showing the video. Are you able to?
Just make sure that the sound is selected to be shared with the video.
Okay.
We could not hear the video.
It was not audible? So this was the movement pattern and performed during the 1960s and 70s, just from this institution. And now we'll go to the next video piece. And here you can watch one of the performers of this, another performance of the same dancer, but in a, sorry. you. So I think now you are able to compare the two pieces from 1970s to 20. The second one was from the archival collection of Kerala Kalamandalam, which was recorded in the year 2005 or 6. So that you can see the changes in terms of the visual appeal, the costumes, and bringing the richness to the art form, and even the performance pattern. I mean, from the a slight tint of folk, it was going up to the stage of classical or ritual, and you can see the golden colors, a lot of golden colors, and it shows the richness and shows the wealthiness. So this is what the reformers wanted, to raise the dance form from the social practice to an upper status, or to a ritual practice, or to show that it belongs to the upper community, it belongs to the wealthy people. So when you start to practice it, you will be identified as a cultured woman, or a cultured woman with an identity of a upper class family, or and it will show the richness of your background. So this was one of the efforts taken by the reformers in order to bring the aesthetic, or set the aesthetic, or framing the aesthetics of Mohiniyattam in terms of visual appeal, in terms of the musical patterns, and in terms of the movement patterns. So going slow was in a way to make it more meditative, in a way to make it to connect with spirituality. The next stage of revival sorry. The next stage of revival was bringing new narratives to the dance form. Earlier, the dance repertoire was sticking on to the communication between hero and heroine, nothing else. The heroine, a very seductive heroine, is trying to attract or persuade the hero. That was the only narrative which used to perform in Mohiniyattam. But the next efforts from the side of promoters and performers were to bring more narratives, and they used this repertoire for storytelling. They try to use different stories, not only from the worshipping or the holy text, but social stories and stories related to the current situations, and stories which are the folk tales, which were very popular in the area, and they started to choreograph based on these themes of storytelling, and they used the repertoire for storytelling, and they started to implement new narratives to the choreography. That was the next stage, and the later stage in 1980s or 1990s or the last decade of 20th century, we can see an urge to go back to the roots in terms of music and rhythmic patterns. So here, different rhythm patterns which were prevalent in the state Kerala, which were used in other folk and ritual art forms, started to take part in Mohiniyattam choreography, so that the reformers and the performers, they wanted to show the regionalism or the flavor of the region, the flavor of Kerala, the identity of Kerala through musical patterns and rhythmic patterns. Indeed, this effort actually did not wipe out the existing streams of Mohiniyattam. Instead, it added a new path and significantly widened the scope of choreographies and repertoire of the dance form. The next comes the stage of upgrading the content in Mohiniyattam. Initially, the pure dance aspects were oversimplified, lacking the substantial, enough content, which led to criticism of the art form in comparison to other classical Indian dances. As a response, performers focused on the pure dance, which is called nritta in Sanskrit, aspects and worked on codifying and beautifying the dance form. This shift in focus brought significant changes to the future choreographies and also influenced the pedagogy of the art form. During this stage, the status of Mohiniyattam performers elevated from the mere enchanting performer to an aesthetic dancer. Their training and dedication to perfecting the pure dance aspects and redefine the overall artistry of the dance form contributed to the growth and recognition as a classical dance of India. I'll go to my last video, so that if you remember the first piece, you can just compare. Please, I don't want to compare the artistic quality of the performers, but just to see the dance aspect, the movement aspect, how it transformed from the early period to today. Yes. That was the next stage, focusing on the pure dance, so that you can compare how from where it reached to the stage what we watch today, with advancement in the movement patterns, with more emphasis on the pure dance aspects. So here I would like to conclude my points by summarizing the transformation of the feminine art form Mohiniyattam in post-colonial India until today. The first stage was a reinvention of the form. Mohiniyattam underwent a process of reinvention with the support of institutions. Then comes the recognizing the beauty. The art form's beauty was accentuated by providing a framed aesthetics, refining its visual appeal and presentation, moving beyond traditional sketches and embracing new choreographic styles. Then the codification and beautification process of codification and beautification took place, reframing the aesthetics and defining the overall artistic expressions in a multi-directional way. And the last one was the broadening of the canvas. The dance form broadened its canvas, encompassing more graceful expressions and movements. This transformation saw the performer's evolution from being an enchantress or mohini to a nartaki or the dancer performer, embodying a more versatile and refined artistic persona. These transformations have shaped Mohiniyattam into a captivating and vibrant art form, retaining its traditional essence while embracing the innovations and relevance in the contemporary world. The journey of Mohiniyattam reflects the evolution and resilience of India's rich cultural heritage in the face of changing time or in the face of globalization. Thank you.